Hello everyone. Today I want to do a little video on Dark Souls, and also I just want to get this out of the way. Sorry for the lack of uploads lately. I just haven't had much to talk about in terms of videos and stuff, and I've also just been playing a lot of Dark Souls, which is what this video just happens to be about. Now recently, one of my friends started playing Dark Souls, and he had played over 600 hours of the game, and he loves the game. He's played like all three, and I played Dark Souls I think twice before, a couple months ago and a couple months before that even, and all I did was hop on, I beat the first boss, and then I got to the main area, died by a couple skeletons. I was like, this is fucking dumb. I didn't like Dark Souls very much. I thought, game's just not for me, very difficult, I'm just not gonna play it. It's just not my type of game, and I just moved on from it. I tried to play it again once more. I played it with a friend, just like we talked and tried to play it together, and we both didn't like it very much, and so I was like, you know what, I was right the first time. This just really isn't the game for me. And so when my friend told me about how he loves Dark Souls and how he's starting a new character, and I should too, I was like, you know, I'll give it another go. And so a couple weeks go by, and I just completely forget about it. And then one day I start to play Dark Souls because another one of my friends plays Dark Souls 3 a lot, and he hasn't played a whole lot of first one, about 40 hours or so of it, but not as much as he has in Dark Souls 3. And so I decided, you know what, I'll play, and maybe I can catch up to him, and we can play together, because I know there is co-op on Dark Souls. And so I started playing, and I got into it a little bit. I'm like, hey, this isn't too bad. And, you know, then you get to the second boss, and the Taurus Demon, which is the second boss. I wanted to tear my hair out, and eventually I beat him, and I just got this amazing sense of satisfaction. And that's the thing with Dark Souls, is this game provides such a good sense of satisfaction. All the bosses you kill, you feel awesome after you've done it. You feel awesome when you farm for a little bit, you get your good stuff, you kill a bunch of enemies, and you just tear through an area. The best feeling in the world about this game is when eventually you've made it so far into the game that you can go back to old areas and when you've struggled and just slaughter the enemies there. It's so rewarding. This game really does reward you. The loot system is good. The only complaint I really have with the game, this isn't a full straight up review, this is more of a recommendation if you haven't played Dark Souls. Now, I am also playing as a Pyromancer, and what I understand, the Pyromancer is the easiest class in the game. That was only because I wanted to get into the game and try to see if I could like it, and I really do like it. Pyromancy is really fun to use. The Fireball is really effective, and I just like the class overall. But this game is just, oh my god, is it fun. I think I've put almost 70 hours into it since I started playing. I started playing about 3 days ago, which is why, like I said, I haven't uploaded. And I've just been having a blast. I've killed, I think, almost all the bosses. I only have, like, I think 12 left. And it's just, I really recommend this game. It's an incredibly fun experience. And one thing I have to say about this game that I just did not expect is its graphics hold up extremely well. This game came out 5 years ago, in 2011. That is a long time ago, and it looks great still, and there are still a good amount of people playing this game. So if you're having trouble on a boss, like I do, I've had a lot of trouble with bosses, and I just summon a player in, and boom, I get some help. I have a couple friends that play it. This game holds up incredibly well. I haven't experienced actually I would say I've experienced maybe one or two bugs, but nothing tremendous. The game is very much fun. Like I said, it's a challenge. It's a very big challenge, and it does require you to have patience. This game really does require you to have patience. If you do not have any patience, do not play this game, because you die in this game a lot. And you know, you hear about speedruns where people beat it with their feet and stuff, and that's just insane. But this game requires you to think things out, because when you die, typically you get pissed off, and I did a lot, and that's what caused me to take so long and be bad at the game at first, is because when you die, you get angry, you think, oh, that's bullshit, but typically it's not bullshit. Most of the time when you die in Dark Souls, it's not like the game's fault. You didn't get bullshitted out of some way. Typically it's your fault, and I love that, because almost every death can be explained away. There's almost never a time in which there is some dumb bug or just some bullshit or an overpowered enemy. Every enemy is fightable, every boss is fightable, and some areas, I have to say, there is one complaint I would have to say, is some areas are a bit harder if you're just progressing through the story and you're just going through the game and you just keep moving along. You can't really tell when you should stop and maybe farm a little bit, get some souls, upgrade your character, up your stats, get some better weapons, armor, stuff like that. You aren't always able to tell. And so sometimes you'll be fighting a boss that's way above your pay grade, and you'll die a lot because you're trying to fight a boss way above your pay grade, and you're not ready for it yet, and you don't know that because there's no real sense of just kind of, you need to stop and maybe get some better stuff. And that happened with me a lot early on, and then it takes some time, and you do realize that, hey, I should probably go grind for some souls, farm a little bit, maybe go get a friend to help me out with this boss instead of, doing it by myself, look up a guide. And another thing about this game that I fucking love, I think is one of the coolest things in this game, is there's a message system, and you might see it in the video a little bit. And also, so for the gameplay, there's a bit of repeat because I did die once because I was struggling with this area. But like I said, there's always people to help you. There's, like, if you just stand by a bonfire that's relatively popular near a boss, or if you stand right outside the area of a boss, you're probably gonna find somebody. And even if you can't find somebody, it takes too long, then just check for, like, put some humanity on. Obviously you have to, and then wait and look around for some summon signs of NPCs. The story on this game is a little light, like, it's kind of subtle and it's not very big. Like, your character doesn't speak, you're not really given an objective. It's just kind of like, hey, go through the story, kill the bosses. Once you get out of the asylum, you're just told to ring 2 bells, and then half the time it takes forever to actually do that because you're too busy killing bosses and such. But the story is somewhat interesting. I mean, I'm kind of interested in the lore perspective of this game, just to understand what is happening, why everything is happening, where we are, stuff like that. And it's just fun. This game is genuine fun, even though it is a challenge, and a lot of people get turned off by Dark Souls' intense challenge. And yeah, it is a challenge. It's definitely a fucking challenge. This game is no candy shop. You can't just walk in and play however you please. You gotta think things through. And I've been enjoying the living shit out of this game, and once I beat it, I'm going to move on to the second game, and then the third game. And from what I understand, this is the hardest game in the series, and it's just a blast. I highly recommend you play this game. If you do not have an Xbox 360, you can buy it via Xbox One backwards compatibility, and if you have a PlayStation 3, it's available on PlayStation 3. It's also on PC, although I understand the port to PC isn't the greatest in the world, but still, it's well worth your time. I think everyone should play Dark Souls at least once just to understand a challenge to, if as a gamer, I think everyone should be subject to some sort of challenge. The level of challenge in this game is very great, and like I said, it takes some time to get used to, but in the end, you'll have a solid experience that I think everyone can love. And while I haven't finished the game, because this game is very long, there are 26 bosses, and I think one of them is optional. They're all, actually, almost every boss is optional. Most of them anyways. There's only a couple in which you actually have to do, but I think there's around 10 that you probably would like, if you sped through the game completely, you could just beat maybe 10, 12 bosses, something like that, because there's a bunch that I just did because I want to beat all the bosses. But, they're fun to beat. You want to fight bosses. It's like you're not just, going through and they're just, a boss fight again. No, they're fun because you have to learn their attacks and such. So, like I said, if you have like 20 bucks to burn, go out to GameStop, go to Walmart, pick up Dark Souls, and then play through it and tell me what you guys think. If you have played Dark Souls, tell me what you think of the game, and I want to hear your guys' opinions because I have finally found another game to play and grind through again. It's so much fun. I'm having a ton of fun with this game, and I recommend that everyone else does too. So like I said, leave your opinions in the comments below, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.